Never mind me while I'm stepping out my circumference. I feel the nerves trickling down. It's life humbling. My words stutter, stumbling, staggered, I'm caught off guard. This the life of a jigaboo, introverted, I'm scarred. Whoa, my murder been the melodies while they sing the choruses. Direct message from Slade saying we need more of it. Paranoia in my state, I see envy at high rates. Now it's crop off the fate, turn great so I fly straight. Was gone for a minute, now I'm back like an X with big factors. I see you turn flat like extinct like some raptors. When I drop through purposes and practicing patience, we move to greener pastures. They're saying life is a matter of mastering basics and mastering patience. More time I get tired of waiting. Maybe it's fate procrastinating. The times are bad, so it really had me sprung like she got me doing things that I never do. You thought that we connected when in fact it was trauma bonding. Just leave it up to me to break the rules, never corresponding. My childhood filled with fence climbs and knee scrapes and bikes and kicking it by the street signs. The older I get, I'm trying to lessen any screen time. The bounce back heavy, I rock steady on climb. This world's a fucking loop, the news will pick and choose whatever truth they wanna give to you. I cannot stomach it, so I poop. Oops. When life turns sweeter, the lemon mouths get louder. But I'm amplified with ghosts from God like that boy Fowler. Working like I got that point to prove. But truth be told, the proof is right in the pudding, no point to lose. 60 for the crepes, yeah, I did that just because. She expected more, girl, you know I'm saving up. Left me on red, well, it was what it was. Never stress over them joints or in downs when times get rough, so I ghost. Long are the days when we was close, and when I see you, it's like two completely different type of ghosts. I approach the weekly fire dropping, which I'm feeding. Still, I don't expect to be the one. Your boy having bugs, still the songs get spun like Beyblades and teacups. My fun fair to those that ever really know me from jump. So what's up, I've been the one they all depended on like TJ. Now they're dead wilder than a furry knockout punch, leaving them straight stunned. It's hella fun. Soulful shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only a few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Woy, what's going on, people, man? What's going on? What's popping? What's popping? What's popping, man? Hope everybody's blessed. Obviously, we're back. We're back in the building, live in the flesh. Euro final, man. It's the Euro final. We're finally back here, England. Hey, listen, man, I've been cussing them for like, the last month now? The last month now. I've been cussing England, how crap they've been, etc., etc. But guess what? England are in the final of Euro 2024. But they're not alone, of course not. Their opponents for this evening's game over here in the UK, Spain. Now, we're talking about in recent times anyway, we're talking about one of the best teams, international teams that we've ever seen, with some of the best players that ever grace, the footballing world over the last few centuries. We're talking about not the same team, but of course we're talking about a nation that, won Euros, World Cup, Euros, those kind of things are not really heard of, man. Big up to everybody watching, of course, over here on YouTube. Make sure you guys, of course, smash that like button, share and subscribe. I'm joined this afternoon by Harris. Bro, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to the final today.
Nah, man, it should be an interesting one, man. I don't know. Big up Alex in the building, man. I don't know what's going on with Twitter. For some reason, it wouldn't let me stream it over there. I don't know, some new rules or whatever, but we'll worry about that another time. But Harris, man, chat to me, bro. Obviously, they're in the final now. So there's only we can cuss England as much as we want to cuss them, but listen, Fairs, they got to the final, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I will give them credit, because any team to get to a final, you have to give them some type of credit, so to speak. But just in a general sense, man, looking at both teams at the moment, before we obviously dive into looking at a bit of the tactics and stuff like that, how are we feeling, for the game?
I think obviously I'm on Spain's side.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not a fan of England. But I think if I'm a Spain fan, I'm feeling very confident because this England side, they haven't been the greatest in performance. Their only good game was against Netherlands, and the thing is, if you think about how Netherlands set up tactically, I think it was the right way how to start the game. but the space that they left, so like Reinders and Charlton, they weren't trying to get tight. Pause. Yeah, they wasn't able to close the spaces from Foden, Mainu, Bellingham. Kane was even dropping deep. So I feel like if Spain, because they're going to have the ball, we both know that they're going to dominate possession of the ball. Can Spain deal with the threat on the counter attack from England? Because they do look decent on the counter attack. To be fair, and then when you got Saka running in behind, you've got Bellingham, you've got Foden, you've got who else is there? Kyle Walker, if he wants to try and get forward. There's just so many pros and cons to how Spain play, and I think they did get lucky against France at some moments in the game. When Barcola came on, he caused some issues for their fullbacks. Obviously, Nacho, we won't be seeing Nacho play right back. We're going to see the best right back in the world right now, Danny Carvajal, play there against whoever is on the left, whether that's Foden, whether that's Gordon, whether that's Eze. And I don't think any of them, apart from Eze, can really pose a threat to Carvajal. So yeah, this game is not. I don't think Spain will slap England. I think it will be tight. So yeah, I think I will go for a typical 1-0 win for Spain in the finals. It's always 1-0, isn't it?
No, it's true, man. It's true. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree somewhat with what Harris is saying in terms of, at the end of the day, it is a final, so I'm not expecting. I mean, the last time I saw like a final in terms of international where it was like completely one-sided, I think it was Spain versus Italy, from what I can remember. I'm trying to think of all the other finals, but there wasn't really too many one side. I think that one was like 4-something to Spain. But again, this is when Spain were at their absolute best. Players like Juan Mata, David Silva, those kind of guys are even in the squad, let alone, being able to come off the bench and affect play. But no, man, I think today as well, especially when we're looking at like the lineups and stuff like that, I think Spain's lineup, that one's interesting, and obviously we'll take a little look at that. England's one is very, very interesting because obviously this is just a predicted lineup that you guys can see on your screen from SofaScore. Kind of the same of, well, to be honest, in terms of the shape and everything, I think it will be this. I think Gareth Southgate will be an idiot to even try and revert back to, 4 at the back and stuff like that. I think when you've got something that's been working for you, I don't see the reason as to why you would even bother changing. I think the only thing he's going to have to think about is whether or not he starts Luke Shaw or what's his name, Trippier. I think that's the decision that he's going to have to make, in this game. Trippier's played all the games, started all the games, should I say. So do you just go with the team that's kind of just, been doing it, this is more or less since you switched to this back three, or do you go with Luke Shaw, man? What are you kind of thinking in terms of the lineup? Would you change anything around, or yeah, man, let us know.
If we're gonna play this formation, I will take Bellingham out and I'll put Eze there. Someone who's used to playing in the half spaces.
All right, listen. Before you even continue, realistically, because Bellingham's playing regardless of whether we want him to play. Yeah. Because we know that he's gonna play. Like, he ain't missing this game.
Okay, I'll take Shaw out. I mean, no, actually, I wouldn't. I think Southgate will not play Shaw. I think he plays Trippier. I think Shaw comes off. Now, would I personally change anything realistically? I'm tempted to put Trent in that wing back. I'm tempted, but I just think he's not. I don't think he's the person that you want at wing back in terms of his work rate. Wing back, we both know surely you must have played wing back once at least before. You're going up and down, and it's like that's just not Trent really anymore. Maybe when he's younger, when he's like when we won the Champions League, maybe then. But this Trent, how he's been moving recently with this laziness, nah. So the only change I would make is I'll just keep Shaw in there because he offers that width and he's left-footed. And I would take Bellingham out, and I probably would take Foden out for Palmer as well. So I'll have a free of Kane. Actually, no, I'll take Kane out as well. I'll put Tony up
You're
there.
trying to make too many
Tony,
changes before a final, you know?
Tony, Eze, Palmer, and Shaw. Those are the ones that I would put in.
Nah, man. Big up Harris, man. Big up K-Mac for joining us this afternoon. Chat to me, man, in terms of, England, how we feeling, is it coming home and all of that kind of stuff. But obviously, we're looking here at the lineup. And obviously, like I said, this is just a predicted lineup from that sofa score have obviously just put out there. What would you kind of change from that anyway, from what you've seen here in terms of the lineup?
Well, big up everyone, by the way. It's a big day today. It's our second European Championships final, back to back. It's a huge deal. We haven't really played well the whole time. If you look at the games, we pretty much won the games in the last 10 minutes of the game, which is crazy. And we've gone behind in 80% of the games and come back to win. So the mentality and the resilience in the players is insane. We talk about Liverpool being mentality monsters. England are right now. And it's pure clutch. We're winning games off individuals.
Yeah.
I don't think he changes anything. I really don't. I don't even think Luke Shaw plays. I think he starts with Trippier again. And when Trippier starts lagging and we start needing maybe that width, he'll probably bring Luke Shaw on. I think it will be a back three because we need more solidity and we don't want Kyle Walker to be too far wide because he's been an abomination in this tournament. But somehow his pace has managed to get us through games, not through skill or his passing or his creativity, because he's been absolutely pants. I think we need a really big game from Declan Rice, a really big game, because they have got a really good midfield. They just have. Doesn't matter who they put in, by the way. I mean, they could take anyone out, as long as Rodri's there, by the way. Rodri will not move. But they can take anyone out and replace them with another really good player. They could replace him with Marino. They could replace him with Zubamendi. They're all really good players.
Agreed.
And they're all linked with top clubs as well. I think having wing backs who are more defensive minded is what's going to get us through this game, because Yamal will be forced further wide and Nico Williams will be forced further wide as well because of the defensive solidity of those wing backs, because they won't really want to get forward. Walker hasn't really gone past the halfway line that much in any sense. So playing Trent, it wouldn't help us, honestly. I love Trent and I think he'd be amazing, but he won't help us against Lamal. He just won't. So it's just about it's literally about what we've done every single game, being really defensive, being really solid, and being able to have a clutch player to win it. And that's what's going to get us the cup.
Nah, man. Listen, man. I am inclined.
You know what? You know what? If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes to get one over the line.
Yeah, no, of course. Listen,
because at the moment we're like Greece.
Yeah. We're like Greece, but with better players. It's true. Now, and to be honest, I'm more inclined to agree with K-Mac. To be honest with you, in terms of the team and stuff like that. I'll be real. Like the way I look at it is, unless someone's injured, unless someone's tired, or they're picking up and they've got a knock, and you're not really sure, just keep the team the same. I wouldn't put anybody else in. The only reason why is just because I hear what you're saying, Harris. If this was like a quarterfinal or
Harris
the round of 16, then yeah. No. But even still, even when you look at some of the players, I would understand it more if this was an earlier round, because then you're saying, oh, okay, cool, we do this. Too much tinkering doesn't work, man. It never works when you try to tinker too much with a squad. That this is the nucleus of the team in terms of, you're right, Phil Foden's, the Bellinghams. Some of these players haven't performed well, as K-Mac said, but that seems to, it's like they haven't performed well, but these performances that they have been putting in, this is the reason why they're in the final. Whether we agree, listen, we're not going to agree. We all three of us sitting here and everybody else, England have been, in my opinion, shit this tournament. They have been saved
Thank
by individual moments. Cool, no problem. But guess what? They're going to turn around and tell us, I'm in the final, mate. Do you know what I mean? France, Germany, Italy, all of these big teams, they're all at home right now watching this final alongside us. So it's a tricky one, but I do agree with the premise. If this was an earlier round, like when we spoke about in the quarterfinal preview and stuff like that, bro, I would agree with you 100%. But I would have to side with K-Mac here in terms of you don't really change anything. You keep the team the same and just kind of go with it from there.
We have beaten Spain as well recently, by the way.
Yeah, we have.
So,
we have.
So, you know, there could be a bit of voodoo there, but I think it's going to be a smelly final. It's going to be really bitty. There's probably going to be loads of yellow cards.
I thought about that as well.
We're going to nick it. But we're going to nick it. I think we'll nick it.
Listen, I think Spain will go and win. Would it surprise me if England nick it?
I don't think it will be easy.
No.
I don't think it will be easy.
No. Foden hasn't scored yet either, has he?
No. Yeah, that one.
But this is where it comes to. I think this is where Foden kind of comes into hand. I'm not his biggest fan. I think there is a bit of people overrating him sometimes when into certain conversations. He is a good player, but in terms of when he's needed to grab his team by the scruff of the neck, can he do that today? That's yet to be seen. Yes, he is in a Man City team, but he has scored very good goals against decent teams. But he's got KDB, he's got Grealish around him, he's got Rodri, he's got Bernardo Silva. Can he grab his team by the scruff of the neck to win a game? I'm not sure, but today will be interesting to see. Spain, I think they will have more of the ball, which is, I think, is more suited to England's advantage. But if Spain was to sit back, they would need to close those spaces, because I don't think Foden is able to kind of... I think if you put a man on Foden, I don't think he can do much. I've seen it many times before, and I'm going to use an example. So you see when Real Madrid played Man City at the Bernabeu last season, in the first half, Toni Kroos had Phil Foden on a leash throughout the whole first half. Pep made a tactic in the second half, which made John Stones drift into midfield, creating a back three, and then John Stones is that extra man and create a big overload in midfield. So that means Kroos has an option, either go with Phil Foden or John Stones. He chose to go to John Stones. John Stones was able to lay the ball off of Foden, and he got a shot off, and it went top bins. Now, if Pep doesn't make that change, Foden doesn't get that shot off 100%, because he was getting locked down by the midfield. So it's kind of like, is Spain able to nullify Phil Foden in possession or out of possession in terms of how they defend?
That's gonna be. I think when we're looking at England's threats, it's it's so funny, man. Because when I sit there and think, I'm like, yeah, I hear it, man. You know what I mean? Foden, Bellingham, Kane. You know what I mean? Saka. I mean, for their clubs and that, and what we've seen of them, recent history will probably tell, yeah, these guys are good players. But you see, when you come up against, like, I don't know, man. Like, listen, all I know is that it's going to be interesting to see. And obviously, we've got these two players, you know, up on the screen as we speak right now. Oh, shit, it's gone. We've got these two players up on the screen right now, and that's obviously Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, two of the most exciting players that we have seen in this tournament. You know, absolutely brilliant, both teams. The performances that they've both put in, and it's not even about the GA with these guys. And I think it's funny, big up ends, because we had that stream the other day talking about, you know, GA versus stats and stuff like that. You see, when it comes to these two, yeah, I don't actually think you even care, because the GA, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, it'd be great if they probably scored more goals or got more assists and stuff like that. But we've watched these guys with our eyes, and I think these two have been one of them anyway, best wingers that we've seen, man. Big up Jerry in the building. I'll go to you, Jerry, first. I've seen that you just joined us this afternoon. When we're looking at Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, man, what have England got to do to stop these two?
It's an intriguing one, man. I feel like the five at the back is going to help us a lot, because it's going to prevent them being able to go and cut inside. Of course, they're going to be intricate as players, but that's where the team system is going to have to work really well to stop them, like, combining, like, alongside Morata, who's obviously going to be the pin man, runners off him. Obviously, Olmo probably going to start as well, so he's going to be trying to work off Morata as well. So that's really the difficulty there. Interestingly enough, obviously, apart from Cucurella, their fullbacks aren't like, they're not overlapping. They're not like gung ho. So you are going to be able to get that space in between them and probably try and get at them somehow. Obviously, they're going to want to go and keep the ball, and I think England's going to have to be prepared to not. It's going to be a game again where I don't want to hear certain England fans saying, "Oh, we're not playing football. We're so negative." You're going to have to be negative to stop them doing what they want to do. So, in transition, you don't really want to get hit by them because in transition they can kill you. I think England want to play on the transition. I think the best way you've got to sit up in a low block, man. Like really early on, maybe try get an early goal, and then from there just try frustrate them. We've seen it. Like, do you know what I mean? Teams that have frustrated them, they it's not like they've blown teams away by 4 or 5 goals. Do you know what I mean? So for how good they've been, they're not like they're not teams that are scoring goals for fun. So, it proves that you can sit in, you can cause a lot of issues from obviously defensive standpoint. So I think that's how you get around it. I don't think you can try go and double up on Yamal and stuff because then you're leaving Olmo free or you're leaving Rodri free or Fabian Ruiz free, and that's just a bit mad. Like I think your best bet is to again, just sit in and then try get them on the transition, and if they do. It's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be Nico Williams. Yamal's not that type of player really. He's not really going to beat you in transition like that. Obviously in front of you is going to cause that. When he can link up, he's a really good player. But I haven't seen him really be devastating on a counter-attack. So I think that's the way to kind of go about it. Don't let them counter us. They're going to try to keep possession, but we just countered. We're like England countered them.
Just interesting, the point you just made there. Do you think that that's almost why these two work so well, like a yin and yang type of vibe? Because as you said, Yamal, and I agree 100%. Yamal's not the one where on transition he's he's bursting through, and he's going to try and get in behind. Even though he's relatively quick, he ain't going to realistically do that. He wants the ball to feed, as you said, link up play. Little passes inside, and he basically like Saka, because then he wants to get that shot. That kind of typical shot that he wants to get off. But Yamal, Williams, he's the one where I know Kyle Walker's quick, and I'm not saying he wouldn't be able to catch him. But if he's not there and he's out of position, it's a long day for the entire England back line because he will get in behind you if you give him the opportunity. Do you think that's why they work well together?
Yeah, I do. Like, if I'm going to be like really honest, and I know this might be quite controversial, I don't think Yamal's been as godly as people are making out. I think he's a very good player, and I think his age is obviously like it's unreal. The fact that he's 16 and playing the way he is. But if this was like a 30-year-old playing like that, I don't think we're glazing over it as much, if that makes sense. Like, still really good performer, but I don't think he's been like the standout, like, he's been a standout winger in the tournament, and he probably will get in. Obviously, he had that one moment where he scored against France, which was really good. And obviously, a couple like good passes, good assists and stuff. I think Nico Williams has actually been better, like in terms of winger, but I think that's exactly it. I think Nico Williams is the one that provides Spain something different. Like, Nico Williams is an interesting one because he's really, really direct, but he's still got that Spanish. He looks polished when he's running at you. It looks really polished. It don't look rushed. It don't look like the five-a-side player or the type of winger that England will produce that can get at you, but the ball might bobble at any moment. Like Rashford's got that. Do you know what I mean? Like he can bobble at any moment. Sterling would have that. He looks really, really silky when he's doing it, but he's that direct type of player. So I think that gives them the different dynamic, but. The interesting thing about that is that's where you've got Kyle Walker. Now, I know people are trying to say that Kyle Walker hasn't been great this tournament. He hasn't been skinned though. He hasn't been skinned this tournament. Yeah, he's made a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But defensively, he hasn't been skinned. Like, it's not like no one's really got at him like that. And if they can go and kind of leave Walker 1v1, I'd be so confident that Walker would have him in the pocket because athletically he's stronger than him, and Nico Williams is going to have to try combine with someone. Like, they're not going to be able to go and do that. Like the goal he scored against was it Georgia? Was it Georgia?
Yes, when he ran in behind and
when you cut in, that's not going to happen. Like if that happens, obviously Walker's just having a mare of a game. But 9 times that's not going to happen. So I think now it's a case of can Spain, and obviously this is where their forte is, can they work as a team a bit more? Now this is where England have to, in terms of their defensive shit, have to be really solid to stop that yin and yang kind of balance, because you've got to kind of almost allow Nico Williams to do the thing that I guess is a bit more scary. Those runs in behind and all of that, you got to just say, Walker, you deal with that. We just make sure that offside trap is there and we contain everything in front of us, because we don't mind. Yamal can take 50 shots from outside the box. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to score a wonder goal every single game. Do you know what I mean? But what we don't want is the little 1-2s when they get inside the box and then they're cutting it back and Fabian Ruiz is though, or almost getting the touches. That's when it becomes all crazy. But if they're out, if their shots are outside the box, I think England will be content with letting them do that, because the shots from outside the box, you're trusting Pickford, you're trusting, do you know what I mean, your defensive shape, and you're trusting the distances to allow.
Just don't let Rodri shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Allowing them to take those shots from distance that are low percentage shots, in it. You don't want them coming into the box, because that's where, you know, any little touches are foul. They're doing 1-2s quickly, and it's like that's where you get caught out. Keep them obviously in front of us, and then we just shift across as a unit, and we try hit them on the counter with our pace. It's going to be interesting, obviously, if Kane plays, how that works.
He's definitely playing, man. I think
Yeah,
he'll play.
Yeah,
Jerry's right as well, though. Like with the whole position of putting our speed merchant on their speed merchant, because they've only got one. Like, they haven't got speed merchants all over the pitch. Like, Williams is the pace, and obviously Kyle Walker is our fastest player. The interesting thing is whether we use the guy that's really direct in our team, like maybe in the second half, and that's Jarrod Bowen, because Jarrod Bowen's like Williams. Like, he's really direct. He'll go at the defence. And he's probably one of our best players to do that, because we haven't really brought any wingers, like, you know, out and out wingers, apart from Saka. And Saka does what Yamal does. He cuts inside all the time. He looks for the overlap, or he looks for the midfielder that supports him, and he plays the 1-2, and then he cuts inside and tries that shot, which he obviously scored the equaliser, which got us into where we are.
But what
basically.
I think Yamal offers a bit differently is, I've been impressed with his weight of pass into the middle. I think Olmo scored a goal.
Oh, his end product's insane for a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I think his weight of pass, which is why I think Yamal's a better footballer than Williams. I think Williams is a bit more of like I think he reminds me of Rashford, a bit direct. Not saying that they're the same player, but like they're in the same category of winger. I think Yamal is just very different, and what I think we lack with wingers nowadays is that decision making and that weight of pass. And Yamal showed it many times before with his weight of pass. We've seen it at Barcelona. We've seen it this tournament when he played that ball into Olmo. I think it was against Spain. I mean Germany.
Yeah,
Germany, and almost scored that goal. I was thinking, this guy's a proper footballer, because people my age, they will look at it as just a simple pass, but the weight of pass, I think, it was so spectacular that I was in awe. So that's, I think, the difference between him and Saka is, I think Yamal's a bit more. I think his game IQ is very good for his age.
One thing I would say is, because I fully agree. I think obviously his IQ has to be good. His weight of pass has to be, like, for him to be 16 and playing at this level is mad, isn't it? Like, we can't give enough wax and glazing over this guy, innit? Like, he's just that good. One thing I'd say though is, next time you watch Williams, look at him also. He's another player as well. Like, there's no surprise a Barca are being linked with this guy. But on the Javi's looking at this guy, because equally, I've seen this guy where he's gone and he's running at someone, he cuts in and he plays it. And when he plays that pass, it's like, you can see he's like, all right, I know the players on your right-hand side, like he's cut inside and he's played a pass across the box, right? Or like a switch and someone's making a run. It might be Olmo, whoever's Fabian Ruiz, whoever making a run. And you can see there's a player coming on the right-hand side of the player that he's playing, and he passes it onto the left foot. Things like that, like they've both equally got. I mean, obviously Yamal's younger, so it's a mad
partnership between them.
Exactly, but I think with Nico Williams, I think you've got to be careful as well, because again, I don't think you want him doing that, because I think that's where it's going to become really dangerous. You almost want him to go at Walker 1v1 and kind of goading him to go in there, because then he's got no other options. He's only going to be able to go and come back. If you just try and sit in front of him, he's going to beat you with the pace, but then also have the end product to deliver. We've seen it like multiple occasions with Nico Williams. And that's why I think he's actually been the better player. This, like, irrespective of how old the guy is, he's had the better tournament than me. I think he's been much, much more effective. I think Yamal, obviously, is mad that a 16-year-old is playing, obviously, how he is. But, you know, if they had gone, like, if he didn't score that goal when they got knocked out, we'd be, like, saying, wow, like, 16-year-old played at the Euros. But that'll be enough said about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm being honest, I think Nico Williams is the one that a lot of people were, like, and ahhing about, is Nico Williams that guy? You know, you see him scored a couple goals against, I think, Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, and you're like, what's going on? Now you're seeing him like on a weekly basis in the tournament, and he's proving that, yeah, he's got his ability as well, man. But I fully agree. Weight of pass for both of them is mad.
He is evolving as well, because like that's probably his best season for assists. He got 19 assists, didn't he, last season?
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy, to be fair. Like 19 assists as a 21-year-old. He's evolving. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Barca won him.
Yeah. I mean, Barcelona. If they can get someone like him, then they're almost molding themselves back into that where Spain was so successful. That era where it's only really Barcelona and Real Madrid players, and then you've got your ones dotted around like left, right, and center kind of thing. But listen, man, let's wait and see. I want to move on to another player. This is a player that I think quite a lot of people have started to speak more about him, if I'm being totally honest, and that's Dani Olmo, man. Okay, man, chat to me about Olmo, bro. How have you kind of seen him in terms of just this tournament in general, man? How good has he been in your eyes?
Well, he came on as a sub, didn't he? I don't think he played the first game.
Yeah.
I think he's like joint top goal scorer now.
Yeah.
He basically controls the play, makes those late runs into the box, has a lot of touches in the opposition area, and he's a bit of he's a bit of an enigma right now, isn't he? Because he's been injured for quite a while. He's got a release clause which ends on Monday, apparently.
Yep. But apparently RB Leipzig are still willing to negotiate a deal after that point, anyway, from what I saw.
I mean, the goal he scored was phenomenal. That touch in the box to bring it was down.
Mad. Yeah, like I was like, he took such a quick way. Yeah.
I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done in this tournament for Spain.
I hear it.
They're waxing lyrical about the other two. This guy scored 3 really important goals to get them where they are. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored today, if I'm honest. Like he might be the only goal scorer for them. But he's been absolutely brilliant, and he's kind of put his name on the map now, as in, like, I'm 26, like I've been around a while, I've been cutting it at the top level. He's been in Champions Leagues, played in quarterfinals, he's done all that stuff, like for Leipzig for a long time. I think he's ready for a big move, so who knows what happens. I hope he doesn't have a good game.
No. I hear it, man.
I hope we sign him.
Hey, listen, man. I know, Jerry, you've spoken about Dani Olmo before this tournament, in terms of the type of player that he is. Ram as well. I know Ram has spoken about him. You guys obviously have seen him a lot longer than I have in terms of really focusing on him, because I used to think he was like, I think maybe enigma might be the right word, but like them weird players where you're just like, if I was to list players just in general, like, oh yeah, like I would sign this guy, I would sign that guy. He was never like one at like my top end of the list. Like, I don't know why. Maybe just other players, came to the forefront before him in terms of my thinking and stuff like that. But in like the last, would I say, like 2 years, kind of thing, more and more people kept speaking about it, and I was like, yeah, he's all right. And then every time I watched him, and I didn't watch him a lot last season, I did not watch him a lot like that, maybe like twice, 3 times at a push. Every time I watched, I was like, oh, he's all right. Like every time, but it was just those times. But then I'm not watching him 10 games a season where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, now he does this kind of good, or this is his weaknesses and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just really basing things off of what people have said, watch a couple of videos and blah, blah, blah. But I know, Jerry, you've spoken about him, man. How good is he, man? How good is he?
He's a baller, man. He's a baller. Like, do you know what it is? He's... Before
you continue, would you sign him for Liverpool?
1,000,000%. Okay, 1,000,000%. He's like, he's got the energy to play like to this like that German style, like high intensity football, but also he's brought up in the La Masia Academy, so understands the whole thing about the pass and the way to pass and all that type of stuff. And he's a player. He's a very, very, very good. He's a baller. He's a very, very, very good player. And of course, when you're playing with other good players that understand your system, you can obviously thrive much, much, much better. Obviously, he just left foot, right foot. He's got a touch. He's got a goal on him. He can find a pass. He presses well. Like, he's just a good player, man. He's just a really, really good player. And again, you can see why when Leipzig sign players, they don't really sign duds like that. Like when they sign a player, you know the player's like decent.
He's got something about him. Yeah.
He's got something about him. Do you know what I mean? So for them to go and sign him, it's like, okay, cool. You know, there's definitely a player in there, and obviously injury or whatnot, he hasn't been able to be as consistent as possible. And of course, look, the RB Leipzig market, unless they do something mad in the Champions League, it's not that big, so you're not really knowing what these players are doing on a weekly basis. But every time I've seen him, I think he's been a baller. I think I was surprised he wasn't even starting in this tournament, if I'm being honest. I was really, really surprised. I was like, Fabian Ruiz is playing. All right, cool. Like, you know, because I think the last tournament before that, I think they had Gavi playing as the number 9. They had Olmo playing. Like, there was a few players. Obviously, Yamal wasn't there. Nico Williams wasn't there. So he was one of the stars, and he had a good tournament as well. So, yeah, man, he's a player. He's just a player, man. And look, any team that get him, boy, if he can click, like, he's just a baller, innit? You know, do you know what I mean? Stuff like your touch, do you know what I mean? Weight apart, like, that's not in question. You know, certain players at Liverpool, you're having to question, like, oh, has he got a touch? Can he control the football? He could do the basics really well. When I like players like that, you know, players that you don't have to coach about, I mean, playing to the safe side and stuff like that. Like, you just know he's going to do it, and he just does it well. So,
you know, it's funny because apparently I saw whether it's true or not, or apparently Manchester City are looking at Dani Olmo to sign this summer. So that'll be it. I mean, yeah, you know that it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. You're just gonna add someone. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? Obviously, basing this off of let's say the form that he's had in the last 6 months, right? I know he's been injured as well, but let's just say that form, this type of player in Manchester City's team, yeah, we might as well just start etching their name into that number 5 in a row. You know what I mean? From now, he would add something to their team, especially when you got players like Mateus Nunes and stuff like that who haven't really hit the ground running over there. Not to say that Olmo would just come in and do that, but if he did, as Jerry said, long day, man, long day. Harris,
he's been around a while as well, by the way. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's 26 years of age. He's not just been, just arting around.
Even in the Spain team. I mean, was he in the World Cup winning team?
No.
He's not that old.
Way too young.
He was in the Euro team. Was he in the Euros team?
No. He's not part of any of the. No player from this Spain squad.
He's only just turned 26. Yeah.
So he'd be too old, too young. Sorry.
I've seen him around a long time in the Spain team. Like, I'm just wondering how far down the line.
No, only since 2019. Only since 2019.
Oh, is it? Okay.
He's been around in terms of him as a player. Kind of thing, but in terms of Spain squads, no. You got to remember, Busquets only stopped playing at the last. You know what I mean? So I mean, like some of these guys are still, they're like I said. That's what I said at the beginning. They're working their way through into this kind of new era, man. Big up ends, love for joining us this afternoon. Harris, man, chat to me, man. We got Rodri up on the screen. No, forget Olmo. About what's his name, Rodri, man. I know obviously you spoke about him a little bit earlier on in regards to don't let this guy shoot. How important though is Rodri to this team? In fact, not even to this team. How important is Rodri to this game?
I think I'll talk about the team first. I think to the team, he's just someone that you can look at and think, yeah, this guy I can rely on to keep the ball. Like, there's some, because like we've all played with someone, and we've looked at them and think, yeah, I'm not passing to you because you can't keep the ball. You can look at Rodri and say, yeah, we're in safe hands, and it's like how he plays football, just 2 touch, 1 touch. You can't press him, and I think Bellingham said it, or Gibbs White. I think it was Gibbs White who said it. He's his hardest opponent because whenever you try and get near him, the ball's just gone. and it's like his intelligence, his IQ to this game and how he plays in the Spanish team, I think is very key to Spain, because obviously he plays with what's his name, Fabian Ruiz, Pedri plays with Olmo. When you combined all of their traits in terms of intelligence of the game, reading of the game, it will eventually get you over the line, and we've seen that throughout this tournament. So I think he's so key to Spain, how they play, 2-touch, 1-touch, and yeah, I think he's the best DM in the world by far.
To be honest, I don't even class this guy as I agree with you, by the way, in terms of like his position. If you want to box him into a position, then but I think he's just the best. Yeah, I just think he's the best midfielder. Like, if I just had to pick a midfielder in today's game, man. But nah, honestly, look, I totally agree with what you said. You know, Rodri is he's the kind of I don't know what the word is. I was even just watching a show just now, but he's like the glue to the team. He's like the glue for that team, you know, both defensively and in their transition. You know, he's the person that obviously he's a leader, of course, in the team. One of the leaders, should I say, in the team. When who's the captain of the Spain team, actually?
Morata.
It's not him. Morata. When Morata comes off, he always gives, as you see there with the armband, he gives it to, you know, Rodri straight away, because he is a leader in that team. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I'm talking, you got Carvajal, who plays for Real Madrid and he's 30-odd. Yeah, do you know what I'm trying to say? But you're saying, nah, you know, this really is the guy. He's a phenomenal player, man. So all the plaudits.
Can I just say something on him quickly before and say something?
Please.
He wasn't great when he went to Manchester City.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. We watched Manchester City. I saw him.
He had to learn how to play under Pep, and for him to come around like that is just unbelievable. Like, it really is. Like he should get the Ballon d'Or, but
if
we win this,
I can put all the money in the world. He does not get Ballon d'Or, even if he wins.
Get it, but he should. Like, he's the reason why they won the treble. He's absolutely unbelievable, and every single club in the world is trying to find a Rodri for their team.
Yeah,
and they just won't.
He's becoming his role, which is silly because it goes back to the conversation we had the other day. Myself, Jerry, I can't remember who else was on, when we spoke about is Pep ruining football. It's almost becoming silly now, because we're asking him, you know, in context to that, is Pep ruining football? But then, as K-Mac said, rightfully so, everybody's looking for their own version of a Rodri in their team. I'm like, you can't find what that person has, because what Rodri does in the Pep team, that's different. As K-Mac said, rightfully so. Again, I agree, bro. Like, when he came to Manchester City, he wasn't this type of player. But playing under the Pep Guardiola and doing whatever, he's been able to do whatever he's doing now, which is, you know, the best midfielder that we've probably seen around. So when people are trying to find their own, like Arsenal, and listen, Declan Rice is an absolutely calm player. But when they're trying to find these kind of players to do similar things, I know people want to do the comparison, and then people put up stats and all of this stuff. But guys, come on, man, we see Rodri's a level above a lot of these, you know, other players in what he does. Obviously, other players are better than him in other roles in the midfield. Of course, KDB, for example, is a better person with what he does over Rodri. But Rodri, for his specific role, is obviously, you know, just unique in that. Big up, Enz, as I said before. I wanted to get your opinion, man. I hope you're doing well and you're blessed this afternoon, man. Fabian Ruiz, man. I know, because I don't know if you tweeted it or we spoke about it. One of the two happened. We both saw that turn that he did, where he took out 3 players and then kept it moving the other way. I can't remember which game if it was against Germany or against France. It might have been France, because I think they were wearing an all-white kit. But really good. And I'm not gonna lie, not that I'm gonna rate him more now, but I didn't really rate him like that prior to this tournament. I'll be honest with everybody. I never really looked at Fabian Ruiz and thought, hey, this guy's good, man. Like, nah, I just always thought, oh, Fabian Ruiz, like, why is he playing? In this tournament, he blatantly showed me why he is playing, man. How good has he been? And what does England need to do to try and stop this guy? Like,
yeah, I don't think there's nothing they can do to stop him. And I'm being honest, bro. The way he plays, he doesn't play like an average 8. He's kind of all over the place. He plays in the 8. He sometimes drops in alongside Rodri. Sometimes you see him float into the 10 where if Pedri's playing on Olmo, they'll like rotate to like an inside left, inside right, and then he'll just pick up those little pockets. He's the extra pass in the midfield at all times. He's always available for a pass. But the thing I love about him the most, bro, it's the distribution of the ball. So when he gets it, it's not like, negativity, let's go sideways and backwards. It's, okay, how can I positively affect the game in the right way? So it's always thinking like, right, if I pull it into him, can I get it back? It's like almost he's playing chess while he's on the pitch. And you're right, like not a lot of people, know about him or heard about him or whatever. He's had a few decent moves. Was it the PSG one? Didn't really do much there.
Napoli.
And then Napoli as well. It's just like, no, man. He just found his way back, man. He's found his way back on the map, and it's good, man. He's had a really, really good tournament, man. The intelligence from him as well. But not only that, the robustness and the energy levels as well. So it's not like he fades away. For me, I don't feel like he fades away in the game. He's just consistently just there. He's annoying. He'll win a little tackle here, win a tackle there, but then his passing range. There's some passes where he's given to like for Williams to attack down that left hand side. Sorry, bro, he's a baller, man. And I love left-footed footballers as well, man. They just seem to have something different in it sometimes. But he's techie, man. He's techie still. But yeah, honestly, bro, like he's a problem. Because a lot of them will probably be like, oh yeah, we need to stop Rodri and we need to stop this guy. And I think it's him. I think he's like that middle piece where, sometimes when you pass the ball and it equates to nothing. He's the guy that when you pass the ball and continuously do it, it affects the game in such a good way. So they need to find a way to stop either him from getting on the ball and then put all the workload on, say, like a Rodri. And then that's where you can then like get the turnovers. But if Rodri's doing what Rodri does and he's doing what he does, but Mosa, if he's just picking up the ball in like these crazy little pockets, it's a long day still.
Nah, man. I hear, man. Like I said, people.
Didn't Rafa Benitez sign him for Napoli?
I forgot he was Napoli, man.
No, he did from Betis. He's at Napoli. He done well in Napoli.
Rafa signed him.
He done well with Napoli, and then he signed for PSG. Didn't really get in, I think, with Pochettino. But then since
he's got rid of Agartha, hasn't he? He's basically
but since your manager, what's your manager, man? Luis Enrique. Since he came in, Enrique had been playing him a lot, innit? And he had a good like Champions League as well. Like he done well in the Champions League. So
he's a, as you said, like he's been not. I wouldn't say he's been around in terms of how long. I mean, he's 28 years of age. So he played for Betis, Napoli, and PSG. So he's obviously played majority of his football, over there at Napoli, 125 games plus for them. So yeah, you just remember him like, and that's between 2018 and 2022. Yeah, during that kind of period, like I heard people obviously speaking about him, and again, he was the same way I looked at Dani Olmo, which is if I list players, he's not a player I'm listing first, like or even in my top 10, 15 players, not because I don't think they're good or bad. I just haven't watched them enough. So I'm really only basing it off just the ones I'm seeing on a more consistent basis and then really judging it. But I'll be real, like as Aaron C says here, he has been for me in this tournament one of those players I've looked at. I'm like, okay, like forget. I don't, me. I don't want to judge people off tournaments. So I don't know what he's going to be like when he goes back to PSG, right? And if you guys are saying he's not really been that great, then fair's. But when I'm looking at certain players, I'm just like, it's more your basics, as N said, certain things that he's doing. I'm like, he is like them nothing balls. He's turning into something. Did you get what I'm trying to say? The close control, like in certain situations, that's one of the things for Spain anyway that I always look at. And Jerry was right when you mentioned it about and Nico Williams in terms of the way he kind of plays. They all have it. Like they all have this way of playing, as we know, Spain identity, et cetera, et cetera. So he's just another one. I look at him and I think between him and Olmo, you're gonna think to stop Olmo. Rightfully so. He scored the goals. He's got the assists. But Ruiz might be the one where you're like, listen, sleep on him. I promise he'll kill you in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's a third man run, whether it's just moving into a pocket of space, whether it's laying the pass off, whatever it is, he will kill you. Olmo will obviously get the headlines because obviously he might score the goal and stuff like that. Fair enough, and he should do. But this guy, again,
he's missed some big chances, by the way. Like
in
positions.
He's missed some big
position.
chances.
Yeah,
He's missed big chances.
Yeah, the
but
header. Yeah, the header against France.
airily,
oh yeah, he should definitely have scored
airily,
that.
he's
Definitely should
really
have scored.
annoying. Like he wins a lot of headers. Really annoying.
It just shows if he's missing them chances, he's getting into good areas,
Exactly.
bro, and no one's stopping him from getting in there. It looks like, and all it takes is for you to switch off a couple of times in a game, and on the day, sometimes on the day he'll just put those 2 chances that we're saying you miss. He just put them away, and then you find yourself like, oh, so it wasn't Morata, it wasn't Yamal, it wasn't this guy. Oh, so this is the guy that turned up today and decided he wanted to score goals, and he could be that guy. So. Yeah, now England has a lot of work to do, man, to stop this guy. Honestly, bro.
Nah, man,
it's true. What En said then is what this game's going to be about. It is going to be about that guy, just a clutch guy. Like someone's just going to come from nowhere and just have an incredible game and win it for their country. Like the way you've got loads of other countries and they kind of just rely on like one person. Like France are pretty much on Messi, Mbappe. And then you got like other teams that are kind of relying on their players, like certain individuals. Spain have got players all over the pitch. Like
yeah, there's not just one guy. Like
they got everyone all over the pitch. So have England as well. Like our last goal scorer in a final was Luke Shaw. Like you know what I mean? You just don't know what's going
apparently.
And we haven't had any defenders score yet, and we've always got a centre back popping up with goals in the
normally
Maguire.
So who knows?
Apparently, Luke Shaw is set to start tonight. From Matt Law has said that he's starting in the final.
Who leaks these like line like who like you see in the situation now, because sometimes I get baffled. Yeah, you see when it comes to the line, because I don't really understand this side of things. Yeah, someone explain it to me. You see with like the lineup. Yeah, the manager obviously picked whatever. So can someone explain to me when the manager would have picked a lineup, whether it's for the final or just any random game? Because we see it with Liverpool. We saw it bare last season. Man already knew the lineup before the lineups even come out. Like how?
Normally
Or
after
do
the
you think
last
it's just a
training
guess?
session. It's normally after the last training session. Because mentally, the players have to be prepared, won't they, for the game the next day.
I remember Klopp saying something like after a session, he spoke to all the lads and he was naming the 11. I think who was it? It was one of the youngsters. I think it was Besetic or Morton. They said something like one season they got told after the training session that they're starting, and they went through the tactics and everything. So yeah, I think Enz is right. It might be after the session.
I think it just depends. I think it's in the training sessions, isn't it? If they're doing pattern work and they're working on relationships and working on a certain tactic, right? Like, okay, we think Spain are going to go and do this. We're going to do defense versus attack, but we're going to have, I don't know, 6 players, and it's only going to be the defenders. So keeper, the 4 in front, and then obviously a sitting midfielder as an example. And then you've got bare attackers just overloading them just to get them used to having to not keep the ball. They're going to have to do that as a unit. So what will happen is there'll be people watching this training and they'll be like, okay, Shaw's here. And then what will happen, that's why they say he's set to start, because obviously then people have got connections, they're always like, he knows this person and he's told this person. And by the time, Matt Law gets it, it's gone through like 5 different people that Shaw might be starting. So that's what it is as well. And plus the media leaks it as in the team will leak that type of news as well to appease fans. So they'll purposely go and just drop news. They'll purposely drop news and stuff to be like, this person is set to start, because then it obviously gets excitement around, innit? So if it was like, I don't know, Darwin Núñez, and it's like, Darwin Núñez set to start against Barca. And it's like, it gets the fans talking about Liverpool and all that type of stuff,
Okay, now because I always just sit there figure like obviously as what you mentioned there about in training, especially any game doesn't have to necessarily have to be a final, but just any game you're playing against, you're gonna want to work on certain things, patterns of play, and etc. So I always thought, okay, cool. He might, he'll tell them potentially afterwards, or even during that training session, he'll be like, okay, this is kind of what I want to go with, in terms of the lineup for tomorrow. So if it is England, then I want Luke Shaw to be as my left wing back, for example, and then the other back 3 players. Cool, not a problem. But then I just never understood how it got from there to here, and I'm just like, cool. Maybe, as you say, people are just watching, and it is just more because sometimes they get it wrong. to be fair, I've seen sometimes they have actually got it wrong where they've said such and such is set to start and then they don't start. And you're like, oh, I thought like all the people kept saying, oh, Saka's going to play left wing back. Kieran Trippier is going to play right wing back. What happened? It was the other way around.
Exactly.
You get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah. Honestly, again, this is also for the people who don't know as well, in the chat and stuff like that. Because I've always just sat there and thought, how do you know, bro?
I mean, we haven't really got an issue with it if it's like on the day, but like
no. There's absolutely no I've got no issue.
But the team sheet was leaked like 2 days before some of the other games.
Yeah, do you think opposition may look at it?
That was a problem.
Sometimes I would have thought opposition would look at it.
Because like Real Madrid always leak their lineup like at 6 o'clock if they have like an 8 o'clock match.
I think it all depends.
That close is calm though. Yeah.
I think it all depends on the type of team, innit? Because I feel like you leaking your starting lineup doesn't really change your style of play as much.
No.
You're not going to change it game to game because they'll just look across how many games, probably your last game. How did you set up? How did you play? Who had a good game? So technically they'll probably start and then you go by that. If it's like a top team versus a top team, I think they both kind of go, well, we know their danger. We know who's their dangerous players. We know what kind of areas by watching, a couple of games back and probably across the season, seeing how well they do. You're like, right, we just need to stop them when we get here. But the rest of the time, it's literally just like, we're going to do what we're going to do and then you do what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because we've seen on different occasions that, where you think, oh yeah, this person, like this forward's going to start, and all of a sudden you see like, nah, like this person's on the bench and they're playing a winger there or whatever, and you're like, what's going on here? Like I remember Liverpool played Chelsea in the FA Cup when Hazard destroyed us, yeah, and the lineup was like, I think it was like Costas was the player or whoever, and he didn't play, and Hazard was playing in like the 10 or whatever, and he was like, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Just throws everything off. You can imagine Liverpool training all week, like, yeah, he's going to be on the left, so whoever's playing out there, you need to make sure you're showing him out wide. Do you know what I mean? Don't let him cut inside. And the man's playing in the middle. And you're like, huh? What's this? And then that is that whole, if we can get that first 20 minutes, do you know what I mean? Where we're on top of you, the bench can't get any information across to you. Like, nah, they haven't gone like this. They're playing a 3 instead of a 4. Then that would kind of like throw everything off. Like if Carvajal plays and Carvajal's not overloading, and it's like it just becomes a 3 all of a sudden, and they lopside everything where Yamal's coming mad deep, but they're only going down Walker's side. All of a sudden they're gonna be like, hold on, but Trippier was tasked with staying with Yamal, but he's following Yamal inside the middle. All of a sudden Carvajal just does a mad brazen overlapping run, and you're like, oh, what's happened here? All that stuff will throw off teams, innit? So it just depends. Sometimes teams will just do that just to throw teams off. Like, don't you remember that whole what was it? The tactics gate thing with Bielsa and that, when you had
yeah.
It was that,
and like drones and that. Crazy,
man in the bushes. Man in the bushes getting caught on ladders. And
how crazy that is. Like for man to just be caught out, like,
hey, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, like that is so crazy, man. But no, honestly, man, I think this evening, and obviously we'll go before we of course head out. Big up Harris, obviously had to shoot out, but we'll do our predictions and stuff for this evening. I think it's gonna be. I think when I say a good game, I just mean I think we're going to see certain things. Maybe not overall will it be good. It might be a bit of a stink fest in terms of really boring and stuff like that. And to be honest, I think depending on who scores first, that will dictate quite a lot. Because I do believe if England have been better when they've come from behind. But if Spain get a 2-goal lead, that's where I'm looking at England. I'm like, nah, I don't see you catching that. And the only reason why I don't think you'll catch it is just because Spain know how to play the game in that kind of way, where, as we saw against France, they didn't really start off great. France started off really fast, boom, scored a goal. All of a sudden, Spain just kicked it up some next gear, and they only did that for the 2 goals. After that, Spain just chilled. They weren't really... Yeah, every now and again they go forward and they try and do that, but it was just chilled. Like, it was actually such a chill performance from them. A few scary moments here and there, but I feel like they're really good with game states. They're really good in understanding, like, okay, in this moment we've got to do this. Obviously, not saying that England can't go out there and potentially shock everybody and go out there and get the win, because they have got players in the team that could do good for them. But I am more leaning, towards a Spain victory, man. But came up. What's your prediction?
2-1 England.
Goal scorers.
Unfortunately, in extra time.
Okay,
unfortunately.
Goal scorers.
So I think Spain will score first, and I think it'll probably be Rodri.
Rodri.
He'll score, and then Spain will make a mistake, and they'll take their attackers off to try and see the game out, and then we'll come back and score. And I think it'll be maybe Jon Stones and Foden.
You're on this centre back thing. You're on one
Yeah,
of
I
the
think we're
centre
going to
backs.
score a set piece. I really think we're going to actually do something from set pieces today, and we'll win it in extra time.
Nah, man, I hear it. Jerry,
And
man.
I'm all for it. All for it. Come on, England.
Jerry, what's your prediction?
I think England win it,
Mm-hmm.
I think England win it. I'm going to stick by what I said at the beginning, innit? I think they're going to win it. I think it will be, a 2-1. I think I've got to go with K-Mac. I think it will be a 2-1 win, and I think Spain will score first. I think that's where I feel like if England were to score first, Spain will come on to them and they'll just succumb to they'll just do what they've done all tournament and just sit back and just start to slowly drop. And then when that first goal goes in and you realise now you got a ball with them and you can't, like Kobe Mainoo starts getting the ball and the touch is baggy coming off the shin pads and stuff. You know like that, it's just getting eaten up. And then all of a sudden they're just keeping it outside of your box. It'll just be a long day. But yeah, I think if Spain score first, England will just go a bit more direct. I think that will happen. Goal scorers for England, I think it's going to be Harry Kane. I think he's going to get a penalty somehow. And I'm going to go Saka again, man. I think Saka's going to get a goal. And I think for Spain, I'll probably go with, I think Morata will get a goal.
Ends, man.
Bro, it's so tough. I'm split, bro, because I actually think England might win.
I hear it. I'm with you on that.
Yes.
It's so tough, man, because I'm just...
When have we ever all agreed?
Yeah, I know.
England, do you know what it is? It's not England's football yet. It's just that they've just got this jammy luck at the moment where they're just randomly getting stuff going for them. And then you're like, well, the team that's been balling out all tournament should, like, there's on just the merit of football, and nothing's, obviously you get given in it. You have to earn it, and it means you have to win every single game if you want to win a final. But Spain, you're like, from just the way that they've been playing, they deserve to win this. Early in the week, I thought Spain. I was going to give it to Spain. But I'm just looking at England. I'm just like, bro, they actually have everything in the squad they need to counteract what Spain might need to give them. So you got Kyle Walker. That's going to massively help against Williams. Yamal, you've got Trippier. He will cook him still. But then you've got players inside like a Gahey or Konza or whoever you want to use in that side. So they'll battle and make sure.
And quick one on that, not to interrupt you, but you think because Trippier's right-footed, when Yamal cuts inside now, it's a bit mad because I ain't seen Yamal. I ain't seen him go around the outside and put a ball in with his right. It's always back onto that left foot.
No, but that's the thing, innit? He's got that where you technically know what he's gonna do, but then can you stop it? Can you stop the body movement, the little jinx? Yeah. No one's been able to stop it yet, bro. Do you see how he offset who was it? Rabiot the other day. He pretended he was gonna go back byline and let's just step left the ball. My man went shot, little cut in and whipped that in the top corner. So it'll be difficult, man. I think getting back Carvajal in the squad because he's back from suspension. I can't remember who else comes back. I don't know the fitness in terms of Morata. I don't know if he's going to be playing. If he doesn't, that's a massive miss. But you want the score in it, G. So I'm gonna go with England. I just feel like they're gonna have enough. And if they don't have enough, there's always those guys you can bring off the bench to change the style. We know how Spain is gonna play. With England, it could be all over the shop, bro. It could be piss poor for 20 minutes. Could be amazing attacking, overloading for 20 minutes. It could be a couple of long balls into the box, a couple of set pieces like K-Mac is alluding to. So I'll go 2-1. Goal scorers. I think Yamal will score. And then for England, Saka. Declan Rice.
We've all got 2-1.
Nah, do you know why? Because Declan Rice has been lining up a couple of these long ranges.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I hear it.
He's got one coming, man. But I think, I think Spain scores first as well.
Declan Rice won't be able to keep control of it if he scores, bruv. I think he'll explode, bruv.
Do you know the problem? I think as well, Jay. I think the problem will be not from. He won't be like negative and positive, but the negativity from some of the players. I think like Bellingham, he might be overzealous in some of his challenges. Declan Rice in there. I feel like if them two can really control their emotions, because Bellingham's been on the line, he's been on that edge for the last couple of games, and I'm like, bro, some of these tackles, like they're a bit reckless. Some of them, I'm like, bro, you should have been carded by now with some of these challenges. So I feel like with this game, you're gonna want to go and do that extra running, that extra press, that extra like, yeah, come on, boys. And that could be where you find yourself unstuck, where you might give away a yellow card, then you're on the shackles. Because I promise you, bro, you do that against these Spanish, man, and they start popping the ball about, and then you decide to dive in again, someone's rolling over, holding the ankles, looking at the ref like, ref, what are we doing here? And we can't afford to do that. So
what it is, though,
need to calm down.
What it is, though, if you catch them for like win like a clean challenge, but you just go through them, innit? Like just bang, just smash them, right? But you win the challenges, no foul and stuff. England will start to go direct, and Spain won't want that. You know, Spain won't want that ball going over Laporte's head, over Lenormand's head. Do you know what I mean? Where he's having to do like a 360 turn because he's going to take an age to turn, and then the the game's just like, but I can't even get a hold of it. Like I'm getting a touch, and the touch is baggy now, and do you know what I mean? That's what England would want it to be, that type of game more so than anything. If they can disrupt. Them doing that.
You're right, mate. You're right. Their defenders are quite slow. They've got quite a lot of slow defenders. So sending them back the opposite direction, they're not going to like that.
But Laporte's been good. I think he's been good.
I disagree with the slowness. I think them man, they're
like Carvajal. I don't think he's slow. I think Carvajal's relatively.
I think they're quick enough.
Quick, but yeah.
My thing is they're just not going to like. When you're not used to it, right? If I've seen it when Liverpool's gone to go and play like Shropshire United or like Shrewsbury Town or someone, and the ball keeps going over Virgil's head, and all of a sudden he just looks discombobulated. Like, what's going on? Like,
put the ball on the floor, bro. Play in it.
He's used to everything being in front of us. When the ball's in the air now all the time, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" Like, he's challenging for every single ball. He's not doing the G challenge where he's running up pretending he's going to challenge. He's not even jumping. You know
the Mohamed Salahs and them man there, them dons.
You know what I've just realised as well?
Piss off.
Harry Kane's playing at his ground now.
That means definitely not.
Harry Kane's playing at home.
Like bare goals in them.
That's interesting. I just realised that.
I wonder what because I know for the which game was I watching, and most of the crowd was for one team. I wonder what it's going to be like in this.
The Netherlands.
Was it the Netherlands? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but the way they sold it though, G, is as if like they just decided to give it. It was like, bro, most of the man them afford the tickets, bro. What do you want us to do? Not sell it?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I'll just leave it empty, innit?
Yeah, and I guess bare jerk, because remember when Spain were playing against France, Cucurella was getting booed all the time because there was bare German fans in the stadium, kind of thing. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, but as you said, they're gonna sell the tickets to anybody, so it doesn't actually.
Yeah, if your fans ain't paying for them, someone else will buy them.
Someone else, bro.
Yeah, for a final, leaving empty seats, no chance, bro. We'll rather get the ops. We'll bring the ops in, bro. They can.
Bro, real talk. You got to realize, I see people like couple people are showing videos of like a couple people from England have driven all the way to flipping Berlin, so No.
I've actually got some family friends that funny enough, they're Ghanaian, but they drove to Berlin last night, bro. They're there now, bro.
You see, this is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. People are already kind of doing that, man. But if I had to go for,
have we got like a Ghanaian in our team?
Yeah, Mainu, yeah.
Mainu. He looks like a Ghanaian anyway. If I had to go for prediction, I'll go a bit like what Paul says, to be honest. That's a lie, actually, because my heart definitely does not say England.
Swap it round.
My heart says Spain. My head, as you guys keep saying, it's like, and the only reason why is just because I just feel like something jammy will happen and Spain will just get discombobulated and it just won't work the way I think it should work, kind of thing. So, I'll go 2-1. Yeah, I'll just say 2-1. I'll just say 2-1.
We all said the
Bruh.
same.
I'll say 2-1. What? But I want Spain to win though. But I think
What, you don't want
England
that bank
may just
holiday, G? You don't want that extra
I
bank
want that
Bro,
holiday?
bank holiday.
everyone keeps thinking that we're gonna get this back. I
No,
promise you.
100% G, bro. We'll get it.
Keir
I want
Starmer
have
said
they-
it, bro.
Wednesdays.
No,
I want
who said it? No
Keir
one has
Starmer.
mentioned. Huh?
Keir
Nah,
Starmer.
I didn't see him say that, bro. I have not seen anything
Bruv.
that says we're getting a. No. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not saying you're lying.
Bro,
If
we'll
he
get
said
a
it,
young Monday.
then
Man said, shut England, bro. Nothing running on Monday, bro.
no. Listen, if we get a bank holiday, that
Parade.
is my sole reason for wanting England to win. That is the only reason why I would want them to win, purely for that fact. I couldn't give two shits about the team. Give me a bank holiday, okay. Say no more. I mean, what extra day in that? All right, no problem.
Extra day paid in that. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Run
well,
it,
this is
man.
what I'm saying. But if it's just, but outside of that, now I really want Spain to listen, man. Football needs Spain to win, man. I can't see England. And I need to see that pain for a bit longer than that. So,
But hold on.
For
wait.
content,
Has
it'll be
this not
great
been
for
enough
Spain
pain
to
though?
win, but
Has what? Since '66, bro. When you watched that first World Cup, has there not been enough pain, bro?
none of us was born then, bro.
G was, bruv. It's when you came to the country.
Anyways, guys, big up everybody in the chat, and I hope you guys are blessed. It's going to be a good game this evening. Of course, it will be England versus Spain, Euro 2024 final. If you're watching this on the replay, please leave your predictions in the chat. I'm going to come back to a few of yours as well. Let's see who gets it right. If you can throw in the goal scorers as well, that would be really, really good. Give you a quick shout out before the match reaction. I'm hoping tomorrow the match reaction is that I'm talking about it didn't come home and whatnot. But if it does, I can only imagine you guys are going to be drinking till late in the evening. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. I won't be here after the game. So yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you keep your notification bells on for ends, for K-Mac. If they've got any shows, anything coming up, make sure you guys, their channels are on my feature channel list. Check them out. You guys will see. I'll catch you guys. Yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow at some point in the day, man. Just keep the notification bells on. Peace.